It's Modinomics 2017 and Finance Minister Arun Jaitley is all set to present his fourth budget. Good morning, and you're watching our special broadcast from Chennai with me, Padmaja Joshi. But there is news just coming in after the unfortunate demise of Member of Parliament E Ahmed yesterday. The budget might just be postponed. We've got the final call which is going to be taken by the Speaker in a while from now. That's what protocol demands. We've got consulting editor India Today, Rajdeep Sardesai, with us. Now, Rajdeep, by when are we likely to hear the final word on this?
About 8:15, we are told Parliament Secretariat officials are speaking at the moment to the Lok Sabha Speaker's office. Remember, E Ahmed is a long-serving sitting MP from Kerala who passed away late last night. His body has been brought to his residence, and while MPs will be filing in to pay their last respects, precedent of Parliament does suggest that when a sitting MP dies in the national capital, Parliament is adjourned. However, of course, today being budget day, will that precedent be set aside because the entire process would then get interrupted? Remember, even if there is an interruption, there are two possibilities. One is that instead of 11 o'clock in the morning, the budget gets deferred by a few hours and takes place a little later in the day, or is postponed by a full day. Now, the other option, of course, is that you have the budget as scheduled at 11, and then post 1 o'clock, all the MPs can go and pay their respects to the departed MP E Ahmed. So all options are on the table. The Lok Sabha Speaker will be consulting with government officials, and that final decision we expect will be taken around 8 a.m. Remember, the process is already in motion. The budget speech is ready, the papers are ready, and normally, Padmaja, by about 8:45, you have the photo op of the finance minister with his baksa, with all the budget papers coming outside North Block and preparing to leave for Parliament. So we have an unprecedented situation that has been caused by the tragic death of a senior MP of the Lok Sabha. And my sense is that the Speaker's office will find some way to ensure that the budget does go ahead. If not on schedule, then delayed possibly by an hour or two. But you never know. The suspense is still there. And we will have to wait and see what final decision the Lok Sabha Speaker takes at the moment after the tragic death of Mr. Ahmed.
In fact, sources have been telling India Today that the government has reached out to all the parties as well to see what should be the next step. Rajdeep, thank you very much for joining us. Very, very tragic news. Our, of course, condolences are with the family of the late Member of Parliament. But is the delay going to be, if it is delayed by at all, is that going to have any significant impact?
I hope not, because I really want the effects of the budget to start off with 1st of April. Earlier it used to be 1st of May, but now with this being aligned to the financial year, I think that will make a lot more sense for a lot of companies.
And you know, there's an interesting thing that you were talking about earlier, that maybe the financial calendar itself could change. How is that, and what impact will that have?
See, currently if you look at several foreign companies which have got their subsidiaries in India, their the way they prepare their accounts and all that is only to do with the calendar year. And the Indian companies have to necessarily adopt a different year, which is a financial year actually, mainly for the purpose of taxation. So there are quite a bit of requests which have been made, and the government is definitely looking at aligning the financial year for the Indian accounts to also be with the calendar year actually. So this will definitely be a very positive move is what I would think.
Okay. I can see a lot of activity around Akshita as well. Akshita, tell me, all these people who've turned out early in the morning at the Besant Nagar beach, are they hoping that this is going to be a healthy budget? It is going to make them happy in the next few hours? What are their expectations and any specifics that they are watching out for?
Let's find out from some of these morning walkers here. They've, of course, a large number of them here in Chennai. Sir, if you could tell us, what are your expectations? What's your wish list for the Finance Minister?
Well, as a senior citizen, I can talk only on behalf of the senior citizen, right? After working for several years, whatever earnings what we had, we have invested in companies and banks and all that, because mutual fund investment and all that is highly risky factor at this point in time. So whatever earnings from that, from whatever our deposits are there, we are getting it. Now, when we file our returns, the exemption limit, which is about 3 lakhs or 3.5 lakhs, that they should increase by 1 lakh. That is one thing I would expect from the finance minister, number one.
Okay.
Number two, the interest what we get, we are purely living on the interest we get from the, so naturally we don't want to depend on our offsprings and things like that, you know. So we want to live on our own independent life.
Okay.
So whatever interest they are giving, of course, they are giving some 0.5% or whatever over and above the normal deposit, which can be increased to 1%, which is not much.
Okay.
Which is that definitely easily they can, the finance ministry can definitely do that. Number
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Number two, again, when I was working as an employee, so we were looking forward for the budget at that point in time. So there the exemption limit that every year we were expecting a substantial increase, which was only peanuts. So now that they can touch
That is something that everyone's been talking about as well. Let's also talk to some other people who are out here about really what they expect. What do you think? What do you think that we should expect a lot of investment in? Do you think education is something that the finance minister should focus on?
Yeah, that's really obviously true. You know, as a student, I'm expecting that the investment in education, it's almost 3% of the GDP. So if you see in the West or other European countries, it's more than that. And we are expecting that the finance minister will show more benevolence to the students, and they will increase their expenditure, investment in education, so that particularly in the higher education.
Okay. Okay. If you can also speak to me here, demonetization is something they've spoken about for the last few months. Were you affected by demonetization? Did you also have to stand in long queues?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, we are in a dilemma of demonetization now. Our economy is in a position that where we have to go. Either we go for cashless transaction or cash transaction. So I think the budget should also speak about this cashless dilemma, because government should take some initiation to promote cashless transactions if they really wanted to do it so. Say for example, if it will be nice if government control petroleum bunks or industries will give some reduction in the rate of petroleum things while transacting cashless. I think so. I feel it will be better.
Okay. And what about you? What do you expect from the finance minister today when he presents the budget? What will the highlight be for you? What will you be looking out for?
Actually, as a student of economics, I'll be expecting reduction in maybe the taxes for income taxes, and maybe they'll increase the exemption limit from 2.5 to somewhat like 3 lakhs for the people working classes. And for corporates, I think they need to reduce the corporate taxes, because I feel that is too high. The 30% or 40% for the foreigners, it is too high. So I feel that should be reduced at least to 5%. Okay. To 5% from the current.
Okay, all right. So clearly here, Padmaja, the feel is that taxes is really the magic word for all the people in India. Everyone's going to be watching out for the tax exemption limit, whether we're going to be seeing some sort of slashing of corporate taxes, and also, of course, about the service rate tax that I spoke about earlier for the youngsters. That is something that they're focusing on to a large extent. But these are some of the demands that we're hearing here from senior citizens, from youngsters, from people from all walks of life, really, on what their dream budget really will be.
Right. Absolutely, and for the lay person, it's very clear. Basically, I want to pay less taxes. I want more money in my pocket. I want more money in my hand. It's been a period of difficulty, for 50 days. You told us, bear with us, stand in queues. Now, basics should be made available to us. Basics should get cheaper for us. These ATMs, luckily, are now flush with money. The withdrawal limits have been also increased. So all of that has happened, but now it's payback. You told me to cooperate with the government. I did. Now you have to also sweeten the deal for me a little bit, and taxes are the main thing that people are concerned about. So what exactly is going to be this relaxation that is going to happen? Are we finally going to see some relief as far as taxes are concerned? Last 3 years we kept waiting and nothing happened. You think it's time? Especially with demonetization, I think it's time for payback, right?
Definitely, I think personal taxes. I feel that the slabs can be in the slab rates can definitely yeah, it definitely can be increased. And even repayment of loans, people who have been repaying loans promptly on time, I think the interest rates can be waived perhaps at the last leg of payment, and those sort of incentives can definitely be given to people who pay the taxes on time.
Basically, it should be more money in my pocket at the end of the month. Right?
Yes, more money at my pocket, but I'm looking at children. Like yesterday also I went to the government schools here, and I believe that whatever tax or what the money should be going into the primary education here. Foreign investment, if they can come in and put in, or there are Teach for India and Nanhi Kali or things like that, where the government can give them some kind of a concession or something.